Sup, boys? So, I decided to come back after 15 months. Not gonna lie, I have a bit of butterflies on my stomach because of my untrained, procrastination, but whatever the fuck, we're here now, right? So, um, for the first one, I wanted to first talk about the whole idea of what we have recently with the whole LGBTQ plus and the DEI section. And the reason why I call the losing gay balance is troubling, disturbing everyone's identity, is because I wanted to talk about the current problems that we have, especially right now with 24, about the way and how writers try to express themselves on what they think it should be rather than genuine, actual, authentic understanding, listening, hearing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's about that kind of shit that we're going to talk about. And on the bottom of my heart, I want to preface this that these writers have absolutely no fucking idea what the fuck they're talking about. I'm talking about people from Dustborn to people to Star Wars to, people from like other weird fucking bullshit games out there. And I honestly think that the one, like, obviously you have like a few moments, like the one part from Final Fantasy 16. But other than that, and like maybe some snippets here and there from like other games, but I legitimately think that the only quote unquote, I guess it is, right? The only gay game that we have that's genuinely authentic is Life is Strange. And I would talk about Life is Strange, but seeing and how I haven't even gotten to double exposure yet, I can't talk about it, so that's just gonna be off the list. If I happen to talk about it, it could be about like, one, two, like whatever the fuck. But anyway, um, the problem that I have about these people, writers, or even like what we have recently. I saw like a video where there was Asmongold, and I was watching Kim reacting to a video about a lesbian, about how she's a lesbian and she's not really appreciated with the LGBTQ plus community. And the reason why is because she feels like it's to a point of I forgot how it went properly, so apologies, but it basically went something like we went to a point of acceptance and now we're just going in a downhill spiral, something like that. And I've looked at it, I'm like, okay, what is she really on about? And like, there's like absolute misunderstandings, um, going in a different direction that actually harms the community rather than heals it even further. Well, I'll give you an example. So like apparently there's like a news article that she had found, or like the recent activities that she had found, and it's like over there in America. I'm sure we do super shit over here in Europe too, right? But like especially out there in America, from what I've seen, it's like you see people with like gimp suits. You see people with like body paint and they're naked, for example, or you see people doing like some weird bullshit that they wear, and it's a problem because obviously think about the fucking kids, right? Number one, number fucking two, it's about a fetish that they have, and I feel like they're just using like even I feel like they're just using the LGBT as an excuse for them to talk about their fetishes and what they talk about them. And I find it to be very troubling because, yes, we are very consenting adults that we get to talk about these kinds of things, but this should be like more like private shit. This shouldn't be like, oh, hands up, partner. I get to wear like a chesticizer on my chest. And yay for me, right? I get to wear like some fucking belts and shit on my face. It looks really fucking bad in a gay parade. Come on, number two. And I find this to be concerning because it doesn't really it doesn't really paint the canvas for the I'm just gonna the gay community because that's what it is, right? Um, for the gay community, it really paints them a bad picture. It does, because you've seen. Do you know whenever they do like the r/place, where it's like you have like a minute to make a dot, for each user, and then each user can do whatever the fuck they want, and they get to make their own drawings in like Unity, and like they start off as flags, like German flag, England flag, and then it's like, oh, there's Shrek over there, oh, there's Skibbity Toilet over there. Wow, what a surprise in 2024! What a shocker. Anyway, but like you see what I mean, right? And it's like they take something, and like like you got like the other unity of people, and they're like fucking changing and sprinkling around that other bullshit, and now you have like this fight between like the original version and the other version, and it's really fucking disappointing that we've came to this case, because the people that write these kinds of scripts, like for example, Dustborn is a significant, magnificent example, right? Dustborn is a complete piece of shit game. It's a game about an agenda that they have wrote down, and it could have been a whole lot fucking better, and they chose not to. Even my fucking advice, after 2 weeks of fucking homework, I might even show you that right now. Not right now, later, right? Like, whenever I feel like it. Because it's literally like a 27-minute page of like some bullshit. Hang on a second. Let me see if I have it. I should have it. Hang on. No. Nah. If I see it, I'll probably have it later, right? But anyway, moving on. Um, it should be there later. Who gives a fuck anyway? Who cares? But I have like a 27 page. It should be there somewhere. I'll talk about it in another video. Who gives a fuck, right? But it's basically a 27 page document or whatever about all the good and bad things. There's about like 85% of it that's actually bad about Dustborn, and like 15% that's good. To be fair, that's kind of good comparing to what they do, right? But basically put, TLDR, uh, the way and how the developers of Dustborn try to put it out is that it's supposed to stir in controversy. It's supposed to stir about the idea of, oh, I think about this. Well, I concur. I think about this. I disagree. I think about this. Right? And so that's what I thought they were trying to do. But instead, we got, okay, Pax is racist to robots. Sai is the most inconsistent, fucking cringeworthy character I have ever seen in my entire life. They basically shoved everything into one character, including a skin condition, Virtualizer, I think it's called. Like, they shoved everything down her throat, and it just came to this blob of mess. Gnome is actually pretty okay. Theo is actually pretty okay. Eli is naive and stupid as fuck. That's about it. Ophelia is this stupid emo bitch that nobody really gives a fuck about because we've all been there, and she's just going to another phase like it's fucking Honkai Star Rail. What else? There's the girl, which they should have just called it as girl, and the first thing they thought about was her fucking gender or what her pronouns are, and like, are you fucking kidding me? What else? There's Cell, whatever the fuck. He was actually kind of cool for being a really angry militant midget. He was really cool. And then there was Nai, who I actually thought was alright, fine. She obviously had the less screen time, right? Because like it's the ending of the game. But like the parts that I saw about Nai, I actually liked her. The idea that she's really unapologetic. She did some, shameful shit, and she's not sorry for it. And she's like this bad bitch attitude, but in a way that's not obnoxious. And I look at all these characters, and I especially look at, Gnome, Tio, and Nai, and sell. And it's like, and they either had like different developers or writers that got to write their own scripts that still make sense to the game, or it's just the core writers and only the core writers and not separate writers. And half the time they nail something and it's pretty decent, and the other half of the time they're fucking garbage and they don't know what they're doing. And it troubles me. It does, and that's just one example. What is it? You see like other bullshit out there, especially with Disney, where it's like, they like to change the rainbow shirt into a white shirt or into a gray shirt whenever they want to, like, try to reorganize their ideas. Like, for example, I never saw it, right? But like, apparently there was a Buzz Lightyear movie that came out like 2, 3 years ago or some shit, and like it turned out that Buzz is gay. I'm like, okay, cool. But I've heard like other people that talked about this shit, and it's like, oh, it's garbage. Why? Because it feels like the way and how Buzz is gay isn't authentic. It feels like it's forced down our throats. And I hate that as well. And I find this to be problematic because the more we let this shit be consumed, the more and more and more damaging it's going to be. Especially for me as a writer and as an ally for the gay community, right? The LGBTQ plus community. It's hard for me to say, that's why I want to call it gay community because it's easier. But it's problematic, especially for me as a writer, because I care about my books. I care about my writing. I try and like understand in an actual authentic way. Now, I've been writing for like 9 months. Okay, so obviously, whenever I eventually get this shit published, obviously I want like feedback and whatever the fuck later down the line. But like, for my 9 months of writing, comparing to like the other shit of writing that they have done, and it's been like the past about what? I have 9 months, let's say they have 9 years, or maybe even less, let's say three, to make it easier for them. Still, holy fucking shit. Like, the difference that we have. And I'm 9 months, and they're like 3 years. And somehow I look better. How the fuck does that work? So, I find this to be pretty damn problematic. And how can I say this? The way on how they're doing it, obviously is for money, right? But like, other than that, I feel like, you know what it feels like? It feels like like Aston was right. They're using it as a way to express themselves for how traumatic their life is, and now they need to spread it around the world. It's like that one. What is it? The church idea that he said. It's like whenever you look at something like Diablo 4, and it's like you have like these uh, aligned ideas that feels allergic to stoicism, and it's like I forgot what he said, but like the joke was, okay, you're going to express yourself about how you were 8 years old and you were forced to the church. Do we have to bring in the trauma with you? Do we have to listen to your trauma? And I think that's the exact same shit, but for the gay community. I do. And obviously there was, because it's like not scripted or anything, it's just one cut or anything. I'm too lazy to edit. But basically put, the way and how like it feels like, it's like I'm going to express myself to what I think without any study, any authenticity or nothing. And I'm just going to use some tokenism included. And I'm going to talk about black people. And instead of like the idea of, oh, I acknowledge your feelings, I feel sorry for you, you must have a proud family out there as a African American. You know what it feels like for them? It feels like whenever you bring in a black friend at the back of your car, and there's like three other white dudes, and then you turn on the radio and you purposefully put in hip hop, you turn around and you give them with a fucking smug frown on your face and a thumbs up, and and you tell him or her, this one's for you, buddy. And it feels really, 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 I'm gonna say it feels fucking racist. It does. Because you're using something that's purposefully used as tokenism. If you want to know what tokenism is, basically it's the DEI garbage that all of us are listening to. Tokenism is basically like pretty much the bad woke that we've been getting all night long. That's about it. That's all you really need to know about it. And what it does is that this type of tokenism encourages racism. And you wouldn't want to do that because it's about peace to everyone. No matter what skin you are, where you came from, who the fuck you are, what type of trauma you've been through, what story you had, what were your ups and downs. Like, the idea is that everyone should be equal, including me, including you, including that person over there that's homeless. Like, everyone should be equal within the community. And like, yeah, sure, maybe someone gets a little bit more support than others, but I assume, especially over here at Malta, right, that that's because they genuinely need it, or they just need some more advice than others, right? Because you get like different people that want to have like specific things, you get specific answers. What do I think's gonna happen at 25? I feel like more or less likely the same shit. But I think we might start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Because a lot of people over here, whether it be from Netflix and Hulu, to video games, to watching films and movies, to like even listening on podcasts, even about how fucking frustratedly tired we are from all this shit, about how they're misusing the gay community as a way of a vehicle to express themselves, rather it's from fetish to making money. I think people are starting to wake up about how fucking tired these people are at these types of writers, and they want to see something more akin to, let's assume, Life is Strange, for example, or hopefully me in like 6 years time or some shit, where I get to have like a genuine authentic book and I seriously care for people within the community. um there is some more I want to discuss about, but like now everything is like pretty much scattered about, and yeah, for a first video it tends to do that, I guess. But my overall thoughts of basically what I want to put down, it's disgusting, it's disturbing, and it's very disingenuous. And it can even be very disinteresting to what these writers are doing to these characters, and they sometimes even zombify a franchise. And you get one sad face to another, like this, like a one disappointing face to another, and it makes you think, who the fuck are these writers and how they're not fired? Yeah, I think that's about it for now. Again, pretty rough on the edges on the first part from after 50 months, but hey, I came back. There's other shit I want to do now, since it's been 15 months. And maybe I'll come back to this if it looks that bad. I think it was fine for now, but hey, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm just gonna call it here for now. See you all next time. Peace.